Okay, everybody can see the flag? Everybody see the flag?
Yeah.
Will everybody stand up for the flag salute? Be led by Mr. Egan.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the
To
flag
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
liberty and justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you, Mayor.
See that? Okay. Welcome to the board meeting of April 13th, 2020. For the safety message, if I have an emergency, I'm going to run out the back door as fast as I can, jump in my car and drive away before the cops get here. And everybody take a look around, jump out to find the closest window or door and use it if you got it. Very strange times we're living in right now. Here we are watching each other on television, doing a village board meeting as the second one that we've done as a village board meeting, the third meeting we've done as such. And in a point in time, right after a major religious holiday. And hopefully everyone out there who's listening or watching had a good holiday. We're with some of your family. Me, I did Meals on Wheels. I drove to my daughter in Connecticut, my uncle in New Jersey, my other daughter in Manhattan, and had Easter dinner with each one of them with a plate of dinner. And like many of you, not being with the families that we typically with distress at best, but we do have the families that we can. There are those, if you watch the news this morning, in many parts of the country, whose lives were further destroyed between the tornadoes. So all I can ask everybody to do is to be safe, take care of your families, stay home, and do what they tell you to do. Village Clerk, minutes.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I have two approvals tonight. Request approval of the board meeting minutes of March 23rd, 2020.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
And secondly, request approval of the budget hearing minutes of April 6th, 2020.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For information's sake for everybody, those minutes are on the village website for your review at any time. And also, as we go through this meeting this evening, if there are questions that you have, please email them to either myself or the village clerk and/or any of the trustees that may bring up the issue, and someone will get back to you within 2 days. Treasurer's report.
Yes, I'll do the treasurer's report. Tonight we have total bills, $1,262,829.49. Top five, Agile Construction, $285,588.90 for the Main Street sewer line. New York State Health Insurance, $158,751.55 for health insurance. New York State Workers' Comp, $126,856 for workers' comp. H2M, $84,909.44 for the engineering of the sewer line, and PSE&G Long Island, $36,218.84 for electric service, totaling $692,324.73. We can have a approval for the bills.
A motion to accept is presented.
Motion.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Just in reference, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just for your edification, the cash balance is from 229.20 on the sheet. And that's it.
Thank you.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Yeah, earth to somebody. No.
Is Alexa on this call?
Hello?
He wants to be.
Yeah. Just in terms of the treasurer's report and the budget, for those that have not seen it, our tax rate is going up 1.71. It's about $33, $34 per household for the year. $2.75, $2.80 per month on the average household. For some will be higher, for others it'll be a little bit lower. We're keeping the budget as we prepared it prior to the crisis we're going through now. One of the things that we've done as an administration for the last 16 years is did what your mother asked us to do and asked you to do, is keep a little bit of money for a rainy day. We've, over the last 16 years, put together about $3.2 to $3.4 million we average per year of surplus. That surplus will now be used to protect your tax dollar and protect us against double-digit tax increases over the next couple of years. There are many things that are going to happen to us in this coming year. We see obviously a drastic drop in revenue from meters, which is typically around $500,000. A tremendous drop in state aid. If you listen to our governor and we understand the financial situation the state's in, we normally get between two sources, aid to municipalities, highway funding, about $250,000. Then you take in meter money, you take in housing funds, you take in the other revenue that we get. And we're probably looking at about a $750,000 shortfall for next year. But because of the way we've handled the budget, because of the way Anne Marie Monty, Ron Korzik have handled the budget, and the information that Trustee Ferb gives to us on a weekly basis, in terms of the budget, we've reserved the amount of money necessary to protect you, the resident, from double-digit tax inflations over the next couple of years. The hope is, and I think it's the hope and prayer on many levels, you know, not only on the financial ones, but on the personal ones for your own health and your own safety. This pandemic that we're going through, come mid-September, hopefully, we'll be back to somewhat normal, but we don't know. But what I do know is that we've been cautious with our spending. We haven't always stayed under the tax cap, very rarely, but monies that we were over the cap didn't go in anybody's pocket except in the bank account for this time. Yeah, just if you go back to Hurricane Sandy, when we rebuilt it in Mascot Dock, we got FEMA money when it was done, but we didn't need to borrow money to get it done. Hurricane Irene, some of the major vehicles that we purchased over the years, we've put money aside to do that. And it's put us in a position where we have a AA bond rating and we're financially stable, probably as stable as any community on Long Island at this point in time. And if I listen to other mayors and I listen to my county executive and some of the townships, they're struggling financially. We're struggling because we don't want to use up all our reserves. An example, on tonight's agenda, there was a grant that we had gotten for $50,000 was silt sifters, which go on storm drains. The $50,000 grant, but almost $150,000 match coming from us. We're going to pull that and reserve it and put it on the side for the time being. Yes, the environment's important, but we also need to be able to stabilize ourselves financially. And we're looking at all of these kinds of things. We talked earlier about the smaller things. We have the concert series, which is about $22,000 to $25,000. That's one of those things we're hoping we can do. And we may just do if we're able to get groups of people back together again. So if we're smart about what we do, we'll be able to protect you, the taxpayer. And even when you take a look at, health insurance, for example, in 2004, we paid about $700,000 for medical insurance. We don't have any more people on our medical insurance now. We have people contributing to it. We're now at about $1.7 million, $1.8 million for medical costs for health insurance for the employees. New York State retirement system, we're $57,000, $55,000 in 2003-04. We're now at $618,000. And I see both medical, I bring up medical and state retirement, So I see double-digit inflation numbers on those over the next 2 years. Medical insurance, for the obvious reason, what we see happening in the hospitals, and the state retirement system is driven solely by the stock market. And any of you that have your retirement based upon that stock market know what you're looking at, and you see what's happening to your 401ks and your investments. Well, the state retirement system went from a contributory one up till about 2003-04, and they took tier 4 people. They no longer had to contribute. Decision made by the governor at that time and the controller. And so for about 10 years, 12 years, very little money came from the employee towards retirement. They've since gone back, but most of the people are in tier 4 now and not contributing. Tier 5 and 6 people are starting to contribute. So it's something that we got to live with. But like I said, we prepared for it. On that note, we have an employee that's been with us for about a year now, year and a half. She took the account clerk job, and it's Lynette Terran. Lynette, but it's also more importantly, she took the Spanish-speaking portion of it. In our community with our Hispanic population and the numbers that we get coming in. So the addition of having a Spanish-speaking account clerk in Village Hall, in the clerk's office, is tremendously important. So I'd ask for a motion to appoint Lynette at a salary of $54,636.86 as the Spanish-speaking account clerk. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Obviously, Mr. Smith isn't here from the BID, but Trustee Ferb, do you have his report?
Yeah, I can give a bid report. The most significant aspects of the bid meeting on the 11th of March, before all this happened, we had a face-to-face meeting back then. Quite a few beautification activities are proceeding. You know, the bids got a pretty small budget. It's about $162,000 for the year. But we've procured the hanging baskets that go along Main Street. They'll be being put up in early May. Let's see, where you probably don't see much about it, but you know, we sprayed the downtown sidewalk areas where there's grass growing up between the bricks and so on. That's going to happen. Keep it pretty. And the last thing is, let's see. Yeah, that's about it. That's the key things from the bid meeting.
Thank you. Susan,
Yes, sir.
the chamber report?
You got
David
it.
Kennedy?
David Kennedy did send his report. It says, "Good evening, Mayor Pontieri and Village Board. First, on behalf of the chamber, I want to express our gratitude for the leadership coming out of Village Hall during this time of crisis. In particular, we appreciate your quick and immediate response to our requests to suspend parking meters and increase code enforcement around downtown during the COVID-19 pandemic. I remain ready to send any messages you need from the chamber to our business community in abiding by current business and social distancing regulations. As per your request, we have stressed to business owners to please leave on-street parking open for emergency services and to those looking to reach restaurants for takeout meals only. I further report that our chamber has also been quick to respond to the COVID-19 outbreak. All our businesses have followed required closures and regulations as outlined by local, state, and federal guidelines. Through it all, most of our businesses have found creative ways to stay engaged with the community. Our chamber's restaurant committee was among the first on Long Island to identify the need to support our hospital workers by providing them daily meals. Through a partnership with GreaterLongIsland.com, we have raised over $30,000 to support this continued initiative that is now the norm in every community. Many of our businesses were also quick to offer needed supplies, such as connecting Long Island Community Hospital with supplies of masks directed from Ad Apparel and hand sanitizer now being produced by Better Man Distilling Company. Many restaurants have partnered with Quick Rides, providing free delivery to the entire village and helping keep people home. Many of our retailers are offering products online as well and are now hosting weekly virtual small business Saturdays. Now more than ever, we need our residents to support our downtown businesses through the many unique ways they continue to offer their products and services so they can bounce back quickly when all can open again. Our Chamber's Foundation is also playing a leading role in providing relief and recovery efforts. Our foundation includes the Greater Patchogue COAD, which stands for Community Organizations Active in Disaster, and is led by CDA Director Marion Russo, which is connecting all of our local service organizations to identify those in need and how best to help them. Our foundation has also established the Patchogue COVID-19 Relief Fund, already collecting thousands of dollars now being used to purchase needed food and supplies for those in the community who need them. All this information can be found on our redesigned website, patchogue.com. Looking for who is doing delivery, who is selling items online, where to sign up to volunteer in relief efforts, where you can request a need, where you can find small business support information, or where you can donate. Links to all this can be found on patchogue.com. While this is an unprecedented time for all of us worldwide, what is not unprecedented is how well, and bear with me, how well everyone in Patchogue, business owners, residents, and officials come together to work as one community. It is something no one does better than Patchogue, and it starts with all of you, our mayor and village board. Thank you, David Kennedy, Executive Director, Greater Patchogue Chamber and Greater Patchogue Foundation.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. The chamber really has taken a leadership role within the community. It's over the years, and it goes back, from when they put parking lots in the village. It was about the chamber and the merchants division that made decisions to do the hard things. And I think this chamber is doing the same as we go through it now. And I thank Mr. Kennedy and his board for their support of our board. Trustees, Deputy Mayor Krieger.
Muted again. Just want to thank the mayor for all that he's been doing during this crisis. He's at Village Hall every day. And I'm sure all the other trustees and we speak with him every day, and he's waiting there and doing his job. And I think he needs a pat on the back since he patted everybody else on the back. To just reinforce what David Kennedy said about parking on the street, I've gotten a number of complaints from restaurant owners and business owners that some people are parking on the street and staying there all day. I think that's taking advantage of a situation. And they should leave the street parking open for anybody who's running in and out of restaurants for takeout.
Jack, maybe the discussion has to be with the chamber that we go back to the old 2-hour limit.
Yeah.
And bringing back our meter people and just have it start chalking cars.
Yeah.
Get away from the meters.
It's just, it's people just being a little selfish. And I think it's just a matter of people just understanding that, these restaurants really need people to be able to run in and run out. And if they're all parked on the street, not a good thing. A little more public safety report, along with increased patrols around the parking lots and uptown and in the neighborhoods. There were 2 incidents of burglaries on Main Street over the past few weeks. And the fact that we have video cameras pointing all over I guess we have about 50, 60 video cameras in Patchogue. The one at barbecue, our video led to the arrest of people. And the one at Toast, where there was a burglary, we have video. They haven't arrested anybody yet, but our video shows people, and that's a good thing that the village's eyeballs are out there watching, making sure that everything stays calm and everybody's following the rules out there. There are also our code enforcement officers and public safety officers are rousting people from gathering in the village and in various places, also in our parks. Please don't, please continue with social distancing it's really working, it's helping out, and we want to get things back to normal as soon as possible. Also, I get a lot of calls and emails about the Patchogue Theater closing. And that was done to make sure that people don't gather in large, groups of people. And nobody's going to these places anyway. So the theater is closed until September 1st. But if anybody has any questions or for refunds or any kind of questions with the theater, to please call the theater or email. The theater number is 631-207-1300. So that's 631-207-1300, or go to the website at patchoguetheater.com, or you can email info@patchoguetheater.com. But please do that. The people will be answering the phones during the day. And if you have any questions about tickets that you bought and you want refunds or you want to trade them in for something else, please call the theater. And we're working with acts to come to the theater after September. Things are hopefully going to gear up by then. And we're also talking with the dance recitals and those shows to be able to continue those schedules as normal, but a little later in the year. So there's a lot going on my end, and that's about it for now. Anything else, Mr. Mayor, that you could think of?
I think we're okay.
Okay, thank you.
So Trustee Keys, was that you in the bunny outfit yesterday?
No, that was not me, but I was right behind. I was a bunny's tail, actually, following right behind. I went pretty well. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, fellow Zoom members, and to those of you watching. Yes, the bunny rabbit did come out on Saturday. Try to spread a little joy through the neighborhoods. I think it went well. It was well received. Delighted a lot of little kids and parents as well. It was a
That was Maria and Bill's idea, correct? Maria just.
It was. That was Maria Justizia. Hats off to Maria. She was Superintendent Parks and Rec. As you can tell, she was very enthusiastic about her role as Bunny Rabbit. And it kind of last minute, we put it together the last couple of days. And it, as I said, it went really well. And thanks to Superintendent Dean from Public Works. Thank you, Sal, for you guys from Public Works, giving us a hand with vehicles. And Joe, we did not dress Joe up as the bunny. I was tempted to color him with bright stripes, maybe a big Easter egg. But he was chauffeured the bunny around, and it went very well. I appreciate your help.
Joe, the other thing, just an aside, if people go around, they take a look at the parks, at the signs that you put up in the parks. Very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, we're trying. I was going to. I want to, just make still another appeal to people to please abide by the social distancing recommendations. The last thing we want to do to protect people from themselves is put a lock on the gates, at the parks. We want everybody to use the tennis courts and use the parks, but we still have to be smart, be diligent, practice social distancing, and we could keep as much recreation as we possibly can in this time that this virus kind of holding us captive. Mr. Mayor, you and I have had so many conversations the last few days about the state of the parks program, what it may be in for, and what we may be able to do and what we may not be able to do. And obviously, it all depends on how long the virus holds us captive, and financially as well, whatever programs, with different budget restrictions this year. So, but it's our plan, obviously, to keep Parks and Rec whole and full and keep the entertainment coming, with our eye, obviously, on finances and scheduling and timing and what we're going to be allowed to do. I do have a couple of things on our wish list. I'm requesting approval to reschedule Hope House Ministries, the 5K run. It was originally scheduled for Saturday, May 16th. We'd like to do that on Sunday, August 2nd, providing everything is relatively back to normal. That's a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And I'm requesting approval to hire Kevin McCarthy as dock staff. You have the rates of pay there effective May 1st. No matter what happens, we will have the dock open. So we are going to need dock staff, and Kevin's a very reliable employee who's a returnee. So that's a motion as well.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Police.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening all for everybody who's out there watching us tonight. Hope we're coming to you and you're all well. I just like to say, really just like to thank this board and Clerk Seal, Counselor Egan, just everybody in general, everybody as a whole, all the village staff, everybody's been working hard through these times. You know, we're working short staff, people working different shifts to try and keep that social distancing, you know, keep that in mind. We're doing our due diligence as usual. I came prepared tonight to talk about the stormwater outfall silt sifters, but in these times where we're gonna tighten up the belt and keep an eye on the budget for now, and you know, money's gonna be tight for a while, and being fiscally responsible, we're gonna put that on the back burner for now. But I just like to say tonight, actually this afternoon, I was driving around during the height of the storm and during the height of the high tide, and a project we had done a number of years ago down the end of River Avenue, Sunset Lane, down in that area. You used to get the slightest bit of rain, there was puddles everywhere. Well, I went down there today in the height of the storm, the height of high tide, and there was not a drop of water down on that south end of River Avenue or Sunset Lane. So I'm proud of that project that we did. We did a great job. We oversaw that. DPW, all the guys, and the companies we had working there, it really worked out great. It really turned out to be a really good thing and a great job that was done down there. So just like to thank everybody. Like I said, hope everybody is well. Please be patient, hang in there, and we will get through this. We will get through this together, and thank you.
Thank you,
That's all I
trustee.
have.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Ferb. Thomas.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything tonight. Just be safe, everybody. That's it.
Thanks, Tommy. Lori. Trustee Deborah.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to see everybody, and thanks for joining us out there in Zoom land. I only have, I don't have much to report as far as planning and zoning because pretty much everything is canceled. But I'll just give a quick recap of what I had actually mentioned at the budget hearing, assuming different people are tuning in, as far as the Patchogue Arts Council. So the Patchogue Arts Council originally had their Arts on Terry scheduled for this June. But because of the situation now, we're going to look to choose a day in late September or early October. Hopefully that will be a time where people can get out and be permitted to, you know, spend some time in close proximity. So we'll see how that works. The good news was we were just awarded a significant grant from the Long Island Community Foundation to help fund the Arts on Terry event. So we're happy about that, and we hope that it's going to be something that will still happen. Other than that, like all small nonprofits, it's a very difficult time because without the ability to fundraise, as most businesses are not looking for sponsorships now when they can barely pay their bills, the Arts Council is actively seeking emergency funding, and there are ample resources out there. So hopefully we'll get through this year, and as hopefully Plaza Cinema will as well. And that's about all I have to report for this evening. Good seeing you all.
You too, Lori.
Yes, you too, Lori.
Trustee Brinkman.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Zoom. Just a couple of updates for you. For building and housing, I wanted to let everyone know I am working with our building staff. We're hoping to get the planning board meeting up on Zoom. So I will keep everyone posted with the date that we're hoping to bring that forward with. I'm going to get some of the members that aren't as familiar with Zoom up and ready for that. So I'm very excited to share that with all with you today. Also on the CDA, I'd like to let you know we had a successful Zoom meeting. For that, we have fantastic members on that board, and I want to bring particular attention to our executive director of the CDA board, Marion Russo. She's doing an outstanding job with our COAD group. In particular, we have quite a few members of the CDA board that are very, very active in that organization, including Ryan McGarry and Pat McHeffy and Tony Dean. They're doing an absolutely outstanding job helping our community during this very difficult time, coordinating volunteers and food pickups and deliveries, and organizing all that is needed to help people during this very difficult time. So I'm so proud of what we're able to do as a village for our community. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you very much. Counselor, anything out there?
No, Mr. Mayor, thank you. No, just to add in that I know that you are on the call every day with the Suffolk County Executive, as am I. We make sure that we keep the news flowing to the village and fine tune our operations. And again, I just want to reiterate what all the trustees said and you about the essential workers, all the way from Village Hall down to the DPW guys. They're showing up to work every day. They're being as safe as they can, and we owe them a big debt of gratitude and continuing at their jobs and their desks. So I just wanted to pass that along. I thank our professional staff, our DPW staff, our public safety officers, everyone employed by the village who doesn't have a choice to come to work and serves us every day.
No, it really, and I say the same thing. And I feel very fortunate about the people around me. Village Clerk Seal here in her office, Anne Marie Monte, Marion, all of the offices are manned with somebody. So if residents have questions, the one thing we are doing is we're out of here at 1:30 in the afternoon. So from 9 to 1:30, people are here. DPW is available 24 hours for emergencies, but it really is about the community trying to come together to make it a better place and to get us through this thing. And to the public, any questions, any concerns, email us. Somebody will get back to you. If you email a question about the board meeting, that response will be put both on the Facebook page and on the village website. But we will only answer questions pertaining to the board if it's for village residents. So if you're a former resident that's living out in Iowa, look for a friend in town to ask the question that you want to ask. But again, to the village board, to the residents, if we work together, we'll get through all of it. Thank you very much. A motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Who wants to adjourn? I'll even do one of these.
Got
All in
it.
favor? Aye. There we go. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.